What's up, y'all? All right, today we're going to be doing a full day of eating with Ski. I'm going to go over every single meal, how much, and what exactly do I eat in a full day. So, first thing we got our oatmeal, we got our turkey bacon, we got our eggs, and we got our good old peanut butter. First thing we're going to do is we're going to measure out about 85 grams of turkey bacon, uncooked. So, pretty much already got it on the plate. 88 grams, perfect. For the oatmeal, I usually do about 100 grams to about 120. So that's usually about 3 packs of oatmeal on average. So we're gonna get that set up. We're gonna weigh this bad boy to make sure it's 100 grams. All right. Perfect. About 127. So that's literally where we want to be at. 100 to 120. Not too much over. And then we're gonna use about 4 large eggs. So roughly, if you're measuring that on a scale, that's usually about 200 grams of eggs. So, So we're gonna get about 4 eggs, 4 of them bad boys in there. And it really doesn't matter what type of eggs you use. Honestly, use whatever you already been using. Just make sure you do about 4 large eggs, 200 grams. Because one thing I can say that's helped me put on a lot of size and strength is eating a lot of eggs. So keep that in mind. Eggs is the cheat code. So we're egg maxing. We got little shells in there, so we're gonna take the shells out. All right, you don't want no shells in there. Promise you, you will not like eggs anymore. Let me get some of that, get that out of there. Okay. Now, you don't gotta go too crazy on the seasoning, but for eggs, of course, salt and pepper does its job, all right? You don't gotta season your eggs like it's chicken or something. I know people who do that. Don't be those guys. Just a little bit, that's good enough right there. All right. Now I'm gonna scramble these 4 bad boys. And honestly, it doesn't have to be scrambled, guys. Like, however you like your eggs, whether you like it raw, scrambled, omelet, as long as you got 4 eggs and it weighs about 200 grams, you can make it any way you want to, guys. It's not rocket science. I like my eggs scrambled, so they're gonna get scrambled. Boom. All right, so now we got our turkey bacon, we got our eggs, we got our oatmeal that's ready to be prepped. We're gonna go ahead and cook these boys. All right. Now we're about to prep our eggs. We're gonna go ahead and put our eggs into the pan. As you can see, we got our turkey bacon. Turkey bacon is done. Turkey bacon is ready to be eaten. Water's boiling for the oatmeal, so we're gonna go ahead and put the water in the oatmeal. And that's about good. Now with my oatmeal, I do like to add a little butter in my oatmeal to give it somewhat of a creamy, sweet flavor aftertaste. So I'm gonna show you guys how much butter I usually put in. I'll try not to go too crazy with the condiments because we still want to eat clean. I'm gonna grab a spoon. We got some big spoons here. All right. Get the oatmeal all stirred up. All right, and I'm gonna show you guys how much butter I like to use. Like I said, I don't wanna go too crazy, right? We still wanna keep it clean, but a little butter won't hurt nobody. We're literally just gonna take a little slice. Just a nice slice of cheese. About that much is all you need. Okay, like I said, we don't want to go too crazy. A little slice is all you need. So I'm gonna mix that up. Make sure the butter is marinated to the oatmeal. Voila. All right, now turn this off. Now all we got left is the eggs. Eggs about almost done. Say give it about 30 more seconds for the eggs. I know some people like their eggs really cooked. I don't really like mine too burnt. What I mean by that, I don't like it too brown. Like once it's cooked, that's good enough for me. But cook your eggs however you want to cook it. If you like your eggs a little crispy like your bacon, go ahead. But these how I like my eggs. So as long as it's 4 large eggs, 200 grams. Doesn't matter. All right, boom. Let's get those bad boys on there. Woo. And voila. So eggs are good, turkey bacon is good, and we also got our oatmeal. Last but not least, we're gonna do about a full tablespoon of peanut butter. And I like to mix it with my oatmeal because it gives off a really good taste. And that way we're not just eating peanut butter by itself. So, I don't wanna do too much. About right there is good. And honestly, we'll just mix that in with the oatmeal. We'll take this one out since that one has a full paste of peanut butter. We'll just use this spoon, mix it up real good. I'm really putting you guys on. Peanut butter x oatmeal is a W combination. And you can also do this with your protein shake as well. Like if you want to add a little more weight to yourself, peanut butter, add it in the protein, whatever protein you're using. I recommend Mass Gainer, honestly, because it's packed with calories, protein, and carbs, and that'll stick to your bones. So now, first meal of the day. Now that the food is done, we're gonna go over the macros, guys. So we're gonna go over each one piece by piece. So for the 4 large eggs, approximately that is 24 grams of protein, 2 grams of carbs, approximately 8 grams of fat, and in total, that is 280 calories. So we have 280 calories of eggs by itself. For the turkey bacon, protein, 85 grams of turkey bacon, we have approximately 18 grams of protein, 1 gram of carbs, and for the fat, we have about 8 grams of fat, and in total, 4 pieces of bacon, 85 grams, is going to be 140 calories total. Now for the oatmeal, last but not least, we have about 17 grams of protein, 67 grams of carbs, so that's a lot of carbs in this oatmeal by itself. We have about only 7 grams of fat. And in total, this whole bowl of oatmeal is about 389 calories. So, peanut butter, we gotta also add in the peanut butter that we put in the oatmeal as well. 16 grams of peanut butter. With that being said, that's only 4 grams of protein, all right? Only 2 grams of carbs, and it's only 8 grams of fat. And in total, that 16 grams of peanut butter is approximately 95 calories in total. So all together, we're gonna go protein, carbs, fat, calories. All together, this meal has about 48 grams of protein, 72 grams of carbs, 30 grams of fat, and in calories, this is a 760 calorie diet for the first meal. All right, guys, so now we got our second and third meal of the day. So with that being said, I'm going to cook my second and third meal at the same time. We got chicken breast, we got ground beef, and we also got rice to the right of you. All right, so I don't usually like cooking with chicken breast. I usually like chicken tenderloins because they're way easier to season, way easier to cook. It tastes better. And honestly, chicken breast is a little thicker, so it's harder to season. It's harder to really get the flavor inside the chicken. So today we're doing chicken breast, but on average, I love to use chicken tenderloins. When you go out to restaurants, you get chicken tenders, tenderloins. So obviously we know that tastes better. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna prep the pan, get the oil ready. And we're gonna slap our chicken in this pan, and we're gonna slap the ground beef in this one. Now for the rice, we're only gonna do about 400 grams for the chicken and the beef. So we're honestly gonna do about 6 to 8 ounces of both. So 6 to 8 ounces of chicken, ground beef, 400 grams of rice for the ground beef and the chicken. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get this bad boy in there, get this cooking. And here we go. Get all that in there. Oh yeah. It's a lot of beef. Yep, make sure we get all that in there. We get our money's worth. Boom. All right, guys. So we got our chicken prep. I already cut it up. So I want to show you guys a trick that I do to get the most flavor out of your chicken. So one thing I like to do, we're gonna take a knife, fork, whatever you have closest to you, and we're gonna lightly stab the inside of the chicken. And we're gonna do that to every single one that we have on this plate. And I'm gonna tell you why we're doing that in a second. Okay, so now we completely stabbed every chicken. The reason why I like to stab my chicken, not everyone does this, but the reason why I like to stab my chicken is because we want the flavor, we want the chicken to be cooked not just on the outside, but also the inside as well. Also, when you're seasoning your chicken, you want the flavor to be inside the chicken, not just on the outside. So if you have a knife, fork, anything that you can use to stab your chicken breast, chicken thighs, chicken tenderloins, whatever you use for chicken, make sure you stab the chicken a couple times. You know, you can literally just hit it one time, like create a small amounts of holes in the chicken. After that, we're gonna lightly season each chicken how we want it. Turn that over. Also, I'm gonna tell you guys the seasoning we got. We got some hot paprika. All right, we got some cayenne pepper. All right, I like hot chicken, guys. But honestly, whatever seasoning you like to use that. Just don't go too crazy with the condiments. Yep. That way we can get every ounce of flavor, not just on the outside, but the inside as well, guys. Promise you, this will literally change the way your chicken tastes drastically. Okay. We also got some garlic powder. I just added in some everything sweet and smoky seasoning. Next is the garlic powder. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Make sure it's getting inside the chicken. Of course, salt and pepper. Boom, boom. All right. Perfecto. All right. Now we're gonna get that bad boy in there. Oh, fuck. Look at that. Game changer. I mean, honestly, we got the ground beef, we got the chicken cooking at the same time. Let's go ahead and stir this ground beef up. Chop that bad boy up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add the seasoning in right now before it's fully cooked, so that way by the time it is cooked, the seasoning is already marinated. So we're gonna use. We don't wanna go too crazy with the condiments. This one doesn't really come out too much, so I'm gonna shake this one just a little bit more than the last one so it can come out more. Gonna have some hot, spicy ground beef today. Yeah, buddy. All right, of course, salt and pepper. Okay. And voila. All right, simple. Now, of course, you guys know how to cook chicken, okay? I don't really have to go into depth of how to cook chicken, guys. But, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna let this simmer for about 10, 15 minutes, flip it over, let the other side simmer, and we're gonna do that for the rest of the chicken. So fast forward, guys, we already got our ground beef made, and we have our chicken made. Now, all we have left is the rice. So like I said, we're gonna do 400 grams for each piece of meat that we have. Pause. Ground beef, 400 grams of rice. Chicken, 400 grams of rice. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure it out by cup. We're gonna put at least 4 cups into this water and let the water do its magic. Yep. And guys, this can be any rice, okay? White rice, brown rice, jasmine rice, whatever you prefer, just make sure it's rice. Voila. All right. Now we're gonna let that simmer and cook for about 8 minutes. After that, we're gonna measure out 6 to 8 ounces of ground beef and chicken, along with our 400 grams of rice for each dish. And after that, we'll move on to meal 4. We'll see you there. All right, so now we have our ground beef, chicken, done. Now all we gotta do, rice, done. So now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna measure each one out. 400 grams. See what we got here. It's a lot of rice, man. Boom. Kaboom. We're almost at 400. Kaboom. We're at 403, baby. All right. We're gonna dump that on this plate. And we're gonna measure out that ground beef. We're just gonna do 6 to 8 ounces. So we're gonna change this. Get it to ounces. Right there is perfect. 6 to 8. Trying to make sure everything goes in there. We don't want to waste no ground beef, y'all. Stuff is expensive. How much is that? About 2. Wow. It's only 2, guys. Where we at now? We're at 5. We need another ounce. Booyah. About 6.2, which is okay. We have our ground beef and rice prepped up. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the chicken. All right. So now we got our rice, ground beef measured. We're gonna do the same thing with the chicken. Make sure it's all zeroed out. Perfect. Just 6 to 8 ounces. We'll probably just do 6. We'll probably do 7. Let's do 7 for this chicken. As long as it's between 6 to 8. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Now we're gonna get that rice. See what we got going on. Perfecto. It's a lot of rice. Too much rice. It's gonna put some weight on you. It's the thing about eating clean. When you eat clean and try to bulk off eating clean, you gotta eat a lot more. It's a lot more volume, okay? One burger is equivalent to 500 grams of rice, 30,000 grams of chicken. That's why everybody wants to cheat, because it's easier to get your macros in. But we're gonna do it the hard way, baby. We're gonna do it the hard way. All right, we're gonna get all this rice out of there. Perfect, we're almost at 400. If we don't get to 400, it's okay. As long as it's closer to 400 and 300, we're good. Because we do got 7 ounces of chicken, so that'll make up for it. So it's about 392, so it's roughly about estimate 400, okay? I'll try to see if I can scoop out a little bit more so we can get to 400, but honestly, as long as it's closer to 400 than 350 or 300, you're good. Perfect, 403, baby. And now we have our chicken, rice, and our ground beef and rice, meal 2 and 3. So now all we have left is meal 4. Meal 4 is gonna be pretty simple. This is our leftover ground beef. We'll have this tomorrow, and we got our leftover chicken. We'll also consume that tomorrow. All right, we'll see you at meal 4, baby. So now that we got our chicken and rice prepped up, I'm gonna go over the macros for the chicken and the rice separately so you guys understand what you're eating and how much you're eating of it. All right, so for the cooked rice, we have about 400 grams of rice, as you guys saw. That is approximately 440 calories, 440. All right, 8 grams of protein. Now, for the rice, we have our carbs. There's no carbs in the chicken, so that's what the rice makes up for. 97 grams of carbs in this rice. That is a lot of carbs, okay? And we also have 1 gram of fat, so we're not getting fat. Booyah. So in total, right, chicken and rice combined, our total meal macros, calories, 810. Almost 1,000 calories in this one bowl, okay? Protein, we have about 78 grams of protein, guys, all together. Carbohydrates, since there's no carbs in the chicken, there's only 97 grams of carbs overall. And for the fat, we eat about only 9 grams of fat, guys. Beautiful, nice, healthy, clean meal, okay? Now we got our lean ground beef and we got our rice. So I'm gonna go over the macros for the ground beef first. So 8 ounces, but we only did 6. So with that, the total calories for that is 510. Protein, 58 grams. Carbs, only 0. Fat, 29 grams. For the cooked rice, we got about 400 grams. Same amount for the chicken. So that's gonna be another 440 calories, 8 grams like per usual, 97 grams of carbs, and also 1 gram of fat. So the total meal macros for this meal, in total, calories, 940. Protein, 66 grams. Carbs, 97, and fat, 30 grams of fat. for this entire meal. Now, we only got one more meal left. Fourth meal, we got potatoes, rice cakes, and Greek yogurt. So let's go ahead and get to that. All right, so now last meal of the day, we got our potatoes, 14 ounces, as you can see, a little bit overboard, but it's okay. We got our Greek yogurt, and we got rice cakes, okay? We're gonna do 4 rice cakes, 300 grams of Greek yogurt, 14 ounces of potatoes. We're gonna go ahead and cook the potatoes first, since that has to be cooked. After these are cooked, we're gonna go ahead and slap these 2 bad boys on a plate, and we have our 4th meal, guys. So, let me go ahead and chop this up a little bit. I usually like to chop up the potatoes while it's already in the pan. To be honest, you don't have to slice it up that much. They just into 4 pieces like that is probably good enough. That's how I like my potatoes. I almost like them like potato wedges. So cut them up exactly how you like it. If you like potato wedges, you can do it exactly how I'm doing it. And we're gonna add a little seasoning to these potatoes. Okay, we don't want it to be a little too plain. So the most I'll probably add is some salt, pepper, and we're gonna do some garlic powder. Some nice roasted garlic potatoes. All right, so we're gonna add a little light drizzle salt on these potatoes. Okay, a little light drizzle pepper. Woo. And a little light drizzle of the garlic powder. This is the game changer right here. Oh yeah. Let them simmer a little bit. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and prep our Greek yogurt. So by the time this is prepped, roasted potatoes are done. 300 grams, baby. So let's go ahead and measure out 300 grams of this good old Greek yogurt. Oh yeah. 275, 313. A little extra won't hurt nobody. Booyah. Now we're gonna measure out, well, we only gotta measure just 4 rice cakes. So luckily we don't have to measure that out. Just put 4 rice cakes in the bowl. Try to make it look as pretty as possible for you guys. Guys, no matter how good you make your food look, it's always gonna taste the same. So, Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2. Now we're just waiting for the garlic potatoes. Give it about another 5 minutes. We don't really have to cook them too long. We don't want it burnt. We just want it warm enough to where it's not cold. You see how it's a light brown on the crust? That's exactly how you want it, guys. Okay, if it's any darker than that, you burn your potatoes. Don't burn your potatoes. Because if you burn your potatoes, you're also burning the nutrients in it as well. And then you won't get the nutrients and you're basically eating nothing. Go ahead and get the potatoes in there. Potatoes looking good, nice season. Hear that steam. Oh yeah. Oh, that one's stuck. No. You gotta save the potato. Voila. Voila. 14 ounces of potatoes, guys. We have our Greek yogurt, 300 grams, 4 rice cakes, 14 ounces of potatoes. Now let's go over the macros for this nice, lovely meal that we have. All right, guys, we got our 4th meal, baby. Woo! All right, one thing I like to do, I'm gonna put you guys on a little cheat code that I like to do. One thing I like to do for my rice cakes specifically is pour a little honey on it so we can give it some flavor. Guys, I'm telling you, this is so, so good. It feels like you're cheating when you have this, okay? Don't tell everybody. So now that we got that set, we got our potatoes, Greek yogurt, rice cakes. Let's go over the macros, all right? First thing we're gonna start off with is the Greek yogurt. We got about 300 grams of Greek yogurt. So in total, calories, 177. Protein, we got about 31 grams of protein. Carbs, we got 11 grams. And for fat, we have 1 gram of fat for 300 grams of Greek yogurt. Let's do the rice cakes. Now for rice cakes, we have 4 rice cakes, as you can see. Calories, 140 in total for 4 rice cakes, okay? Protein, we got about 3 grams in total, 4 rice cakes. Carbs, we have about 29 grams in total, 4 rice cakes. Fat, only 1 gram. Notice how fat isn't over 10 grams, okay? We're keeping the fat very, very low, okay? We don't wanna get fat. Whenever you guys are tracking your macros, when it comes to food, make sure you don't have a lot of fat. If you have food that has over 30 grams of fat, there's a problem, okay? Make sure the protein is higher, carbs, high, fat, low, okay? Keep that in mind. Potatoes, 14 ounces, all right? We have about 350 calories in this bowl of potatoes. Now let's look at the protein. We have about 8 grams of protein. Carbs, we have about 80 grams. Fat, 0. All right, like I said, guys, when it comes to tracking your macros and everything, it's super easy, okay? Protein, carbs, and calories. Everything else is pretty irrelevant. Make sure your fat is very, very low. Anything over 10 grams of fat, when you're trying to do a lean bulk, you're not lean bulking, you're fat bulking, okay? All right. And also, last but not least, we cannot forget our cranberry juice. Oh yeah, cranberry, good old cranberry juice, okay? I really love cranberry juice just because it helps with gut health. If you guys have gut problems, you know, a lot of gas built up, you know, diarrhea. I don't have these things, but in order to not have these things, I drink a lot of cranberry juice so I don't have to experience. But if you are experiencing a lot of gut health, gut problems, you trap gas, you know what I'm saying? You just feel like your stomach just needs some repair, definitely tap into some cranberry juice. The nutrients, the benefits, everything. It's probably the healthiest juice you can eat. Put the fruit punch away, put the Dr. Pepper away, put the Coca-Cola away, get you some cranberry juice, all right? Thank you for tuning in for a full day of Eating with Ski. We'll see you later.